Hello, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am Reese, and I'm gonna answer a question that was: can I explain how imagination creates reality or make it clearer? And this is a very interesting question, and I was thinking about it quite often. And a lot of ideas make sense, right? A lot of ideas make sense, but I will say that any idea that you come up with or comes to you, that idea existed. Firstly, all things exist already, and secondly, it's coming through a 3D filter that you best understand in the moment, right? So even me, as I'm unfolding and coalescing into reality, knowing myself as I am more, everything is coming into my understanding for my understanding in that moment and clearing itself as it goes. So what I mean by that is, even I will have the idea of, in every single moment as it unfolds, I can choose something. I mean, everyone is choosing that same thing. It's also making concessions to linear time. Okay, because that means if I'm choosing something, that means everyone's choosing something, and we're going forward. But that's not necessarily how it even works, I would think, right? Because if you were to take away the concession of linear time, what's left? It's vertical time of only now. So everything exists, right? So, how does imagination create reality? Well, imagination doesn't create reality. Imagination is reality. Imagination does not create reality. Imagination is reality. It is a framework. It is a series of frames that are infinite. And it gets a bit mind boggling because you don't know how to perceive this correctly. Okay? And I would say it's probably impossible for the human mind to conceptually visualize what reality is. I will say also, we are not here to conceptually visualize what reality is. We're only really here to understand that we are reality, we are doing that, and we are a source continually experiencing this aspect of source. The aspect of source that is being human. That's what we're doing, right? I mean, we are human, cool. Just like how the aspect of a brick wall, like the brick wall behind me, or the phone recording me, or whatever, or the fly that seems to be making a buzzing noise next to me, is the aspect of source being that thing infinitely, in infinite number of ways. Remember that brick behind me, whichever one exists, should exist in everyone's house. Everyone in my country's house, especially, that brick should have existed because the brick had the potential to go anywhere and everywhere, but it's here with me, right? Which is kind of cool, actually. So, reality can only be created, or rather experienced, here and now. And I hope I can explain this properly in one go, but let's see how this goes, right? Because if you were to say reality is created, listen, right? That means you are creating a sense of linear time, and you are here. That means your decision got you to this point here, right? Got you the point. That's not necessarily correct because from here, if you were to look backwards and you change your assumptions and everything in your life started to change, then what got you there couldn't have been that, because now you're there with these different assumptions and everyone's teaching you differently, right? That doesn't make any sense. How can this person that you fell in love with fall out of love with you and then fall completely in love with you? Because then you're doing this, it does not make any sense. And then where's this come in, right? That doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you, the thing that you perceive yourself wanting to experience or think you're going to experience almost never happens. The thing that you want to experience, which is like perceived here, you want to happen, and you do end up experiencing that, but you only experience it here. You see what I mean? Where's the direction? Where's the omnidirectional understanding of I chose something? Where's the backward and the forward, and how does this happen? Because I'm only ever experiencing something here and now. You see, it starts to make less sense. And I'll give another example of myself. I've lived in apparently I lived in two houses, but I have the memory of three houses, but I've only have the memory of two. So, in my human understanding, and this is actually becoming less and less as it goes on, right? I lived in my first house. I moved houses, and now I have memories of living in the second house. And as a human, I have the memory of the knowing of linear time that I lived in this house for 20 years. Probably gonna look backwards for you. Yep. Whatever. 20 years, right? 20 years. I have the knowing that I've lived in this house for 2 years, okay? But it doesn't feel like that. It actually feels like this is a different entity. It feels like this is a different person who's lived this life. This that I'm living now is a different person that lived this life. Okay? It doesn't actually make sense linear, because I don't feel as if the thing I have a linear seeing. Even in my consciousness, I have a linear seeing, because you are experiencing things linearly. You're experiencing frame by frame by frame by frame by frame. And I kind of think of it backwards even. It to me it makes sense that I did this, right? But I am remembering it like this, and it actually does feel like this now, where I've lived these two lives concurrently. And the longer you live, the more it feels like it's concurrent. I feel like I've done that. I've lived that life. And concurrently, I'm living this life. Okay? The 3D concession is that I grew older. The 3D concession is that I grew up, I grew older. I am a different version of myself, even though sometimes I may have looked older in the previous one. I look younger now, which is quite funny. But this is how it feels to me. It feels to me like that. It feels to me that I'm living this life, and I lived another life concurrently, and there's another life that I can live that's concurrently, and this is what's happening. So how do I understand this? Well, just look at your own life. Look at your own life, right? And look at it in big chunks. It's a bit easier, I think. If you're looking at it like the past 5 minutes, you're like, no, but I was there 5 minutes ago. And yeah, you were experiencing yourself being there 5 minutes ago. But it is, in fact, this. It is that. It is this vertical frames of understanding and reality that's coming into your experience. You're experiencing all of it. It's you can't perceive everything everywhere all at once. You'd have to perceive it. Imagine you're like me sitting here right now, right? And I love these silly examples because it's not silly. If you watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's one of my favorite movies, specifically because they didn't shy away from something being absolutely ludicrous. And that's God too. It's one of my favorite things about the movie. It's just any random thought that they had, they seem to have just gone with. Like I'm and that's what they showed. I'm sure they had like tons of footage that they didn't show, which is just even more ludicrous. So anyway, imagine me right now, and imagine yourself right now. Imagine yourself in every part of your room simultaneously. You can't even fit that image in your head. You can't fit yourself in the room, yet that is what's happening. You exist in your room, in every single part of your room simultaneously, everywhere, up, down, whatever. And just because you don't know how you would be standing on the ceiling doesn't mean that's not possible. It is possible because you can imagine it, because you can imagine yourself doing it. It's improbable because you don't believe in that fully, but you can do that. You can be on your ceiling for whatever reason. You just don't know the reason. You don't know the 3D linear reason of the experiencing of the metaphysical frame of reality that exists, right? You don't know what that reason comes up with. But as a human, you try to figure out that reason instead of just saying, hey, you know what, that reasoning is not for me to figure out. That's just a story. It doesn't really matter. The idea is for me to be on the ceiling. That's what I want. But my experiencing of getting to be on that ceiling is the context of why me being on the ceiling matters. I'm going to say that again because I think that was pretty fun and cool and amazing that came out of my mouth. The 3D context to what you want to experience is why the experiencing matters to you. Your I am awareness is already experiencing that frame, but it doesn't feel anything to that frame. It just knows that it has that frame. It's infinite love in every single frame of reality. For you, as the human part of that I am awareness that you are, you have to have context for it to matter. If you don't have context for it to matter, it's not going to matter. And a lot of your life, you didn't really have any context for it mattering, which is why you can't remember 99% of your own life. You can't. You cannot remember what you did unless like a specific day. I've had 30 somewhat birthdays. I can't remember most of them. I remember 2, 3, something like that, and that's because things happen for. See, that's because things happened at those birthdays that were meaningful to me in some positive, wanted way or unwanted way. It's not really negative either. But that's what happens. So when you choose a frame of reality, your I am awareness is bringing in that frame to you. But it's not only bringing in that frame, because this is oh, this is cool. This is what happens, right? This is what happens in my opinion. I'll change the color. I like blue. It's fun. This is what happens. Your little old self is here, right? You're there. You choosing this end frame. Okay? You choose that end frame. You choosing this end frame and you're mixing in this end frame with the visual aspect and the okay, I was gonna say audio, I don't know why I say audio, and then the feeling aspect, right? You're gonna put the visual, audio, whatever if you want, and then the feeling of it, and you're gonna create this frame, or rather you're gonna pull this frame out of nothing, right? Just how that picture I just drew, I pulled it out of nothing, but it was the potential for it to be on this page was already there. I just pulled it out and I experienced it being there. Your I am awareness, the true you, right? That's projecting tiny you, pulls this frame, the feeling that you had in it, the feeling that you put into it, the feeling of it being real, all of your thoughts, all of your assumptions, all of the things that make you specifically you, and the way that you would love that frame to be. You don't have to know how you would love that frame to be. You don't have to decide how to get to that frame. You don't have to work to get to that frame. You don't have to earn that frame. You already earned it by pulling it in. If you want to say something, you already had it with you. You were born ready for that dream. It fills in the blanks for you. It fills in the most appropriate blanks for you. And sometimes you don't understand it. Sometimes you can feel like it takes months, weeks, years, whatever, right? But it's filling in the blanks for you. It is not lost. It's not going anywhere. You're not wasting your time. And that's actually another thing, right? That's why it sometimes takes what you perceive to be a long time, because sometimes you want something, but it's to solve a problem. You don't have a problem. And sometimes you want something, it's because, oh, this is actually interesting one that I hear often. It's like, I want to have kids, but I want to have kids with this person. I was like, that's perfectly fine. It's like, no, but I don't want to wait to have kids. It's like, well, what do you want? Do you want to have kids, or do you want to have kids with this person? Do you want to be with this person? It's like, well, you're making up quite a few things. And now now your end is like a few things. It's not that you can't have any of that. You can't have kids. You can't be with that person. You can't have kids and be with that person. You can't be with the person and have kids. It's all true. It's all real. Just allow them all to exist. But when you say no, I have to have kids with that person, or I'm just gonna have kids because I don't want to wait. Now you're creating deadlines, right? Okay, you creating deadlines, and you can see that you start getting rushed. You start feeling the rush. And remember, the well, the question was, and this is what I'm going to get to now, like perfectly. The question was, how do I know I create my own reality? I create my own reality, especially when I look out there and I see hardships and I see difficulties and things like that. Right? And that's okay. You generally see hardships and difficulties because you are trying to overcome a certain scenario that you don't have to overcome, right? And this is where surrender comes in. People find it hard to surrender because if I don't pay my bill, it's not going to get paid. I'm not going to have lights and I'm going to starve or something or other. Yes, you are experiencing that. But if there is no ready way for you to pay your bill, do not go and break your head. Assume that it'll be paid. But don't assume that it'll be paid on the day. Don't assume that you'll get the money on the day. Don't assume that it'll be paid on the day or the bill will be taken care of on the day. Just assume that it will be taken care of perfectly. Just do that. And it's difficult to explain this without giving examples, I would think. But here's an example. At some point, I didn't have a electric bill paid. I still had lights because someone came because the lights were just on. Right? Things unfolded and the lights came back on, but the bill wasn't paid. It's being disputed for something, but that's all just a 3D linear story. Right? The lights were on, the bill wasn't paid, it got paid. It's all good, right? It's all good. It really is all good. The date moved, right? That's just what happens. That's just what happens. And it's also beneficial, right? Because the lights went off. My computer had a malfunction and it stopped working. So I couldn't make videos, or I thought I couldn't make videos to upload them because that's what I was used to, uploading videos onto YouTube from my phone, transferring it. Because I didn't have lights, my computer malfunctioned. Because my computer malfunctioned, I stopped putting up videos through my computer. When that happened, someone else who didn't know that suggested, hey, why don't you make TikTok videos as well and spread the message like that? That's what I started doing. And then I started making TikTok videos. And then because of the TikTok videos, I started making videos. I started uploading those TikTok videos to YouTube as well as a way to continue what I was doing. So now I'm aware of another way to do it as well. There's no wrong way. You see, the thing that was unwanted, if I just said, you know what, that's okay, it's gonna unfold perfectly, and it did. It unfolded perfectly in another way and got me more used to another outlet of social media of expressing this thing and expressing this message that I have in a different way. Like I don't need the clipboard, I can just talk. Right? That's what I'm talking about. That's how you create reality. When you put your awareness and your focus on something and you can really see that it's working out for you, that's how you know it's working out for you. You are the one creating the opportunity and the experience for your reality to change. Do not look to others right now if you are wondering whether you create your own reality, right? Just see for yourself. Say, I am creating my own reality. Forget about the outside for a second. Look at yourself. And when you look at yourself, because you are the most immediate manifestation of change when you change your viewpoint, you, yourself, you, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and all this. When you change, you are your number one evidence that you have changed. You, yourself, your body. How you react to things, how you think about things, how you imagine things, how relaxed you are. That. When you see that change in yourself, you've changed. Especially when things are part of you, or seemingly a part of you rather, in the 3D world. You are part of the 3D world as a physical embodiment. You are a manifestation of the 3D world itself. Irrespective of what those things are doing, you are the one that's physically changed. And when you have experienced your physical change, it means that everything else is physically changing, but you may not sense it, even if you are that person who has changed. Right? That's how you can see it. The number one way is to see yourself as that change. Don't worry about don't worry about what everyone else is doing. They can't see that you've changed unless you see that you've changed. Because you are reality. You are reality itself. Reality can't see that you have changed unless you, as reality, can see yourself as changed. Right? And think about it. In every single moment, reality is being created. It doesn't matter what story you are giving it right now, because I already showed you earlier that the story will change in every single moment, backwards and forwards from where you are right now. And because you are just more than this, right? Consciousness, every inch, millimeter, meter, whatever unit of measurement you want to use of reality is being created by you. Your consciousness, your awareness is creating reality right now. That means it is being created every inch, every bit of consciousness, every little thing is being created with the assumption that you give it. I don't care what that assumption is. I have the assumption that everything is going to work out perfectly for me. That means my computer, when it malfunctioned, had the assumption it's working out perfectly for me. So it malfunctioned. What your brain does is think that, oh, because it malfunctioned, it's not working out for me. That's just a 3D bleh, right? But it actually worked out for me because I got to put TikTok videos, and I got to have a TikTok account and get followers there, and I have followers on YouTube and upload different kinds of videos with music and this and that. So I became aware of a different kind of message being presented, and presenting that message in a different way, expanding myself, expanding my repertoire, and really becoming more comfortable in doing these other things and allowing myself and seeing that, hey, I actually want this kind of thing, right? It worked out. The malfunction worked out. The computer's back on, but the malfunction worked out because it had the assumption everything's working out for me. So don't judge by appearances. Know that those appearances are created by you. And the moment you just trust, and the moment you have faith, and the moment you say, you know what, I don't give a shit what's going on, it's working. So I got a phone call there. The moment you say, I don't give a shit what's going on, I'm gonna have the assumption it is working out for me. I'm gonna trust it. I'm gonna do nothing because I am reality. And the more you talk to yourself and see yourself and remind yourself and just say, you know what, I'm gonna see myself as reality. I'm gonna see myself as everything, everyone, and every place that's happening as reality. I am God. I am reality. I'm going to see that as reality. If and since I am God, since I am making the assumption, I have the intention of seeing myself as God and reality, and continuously talk to myself as reality. I am going to start seeing myself more as reality, and you will. You have to. There's no choice. You are I am in every single moment, and since you are I am in every single moment must be able to be seen as your I am awareness, because you are, and everything will reflect that. It's actually kind of fun. So talk about your I am more. Be more in your I am. Be more interested in what's going on inside you than what's outside of you, in those two seemingly different places of experiencing. Right? Be more aware. Talk about it more, and as you talk about it more, you get more ideas. More ideas flow out of you. Like, I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. I'm just saying, and then I'm listening to myself. Say, oh, that's cool. Because sometimes I say things and have a genuine excitement of what I just said. I say, oh, that was cool. I can't even remember this other half of the most of the video what I said, but it was cool because it was coming from my I am awareness, and I know that. So just be more involved with your I am awareness. Your I am awareness is creating a reality, but don't worry about how it's creating every single thing. You don't worry about how your heart beats, right? You don't. It is because your I am awareness is doing that. Remember, people think that, no, me as a conscious, me as like a 3D figure, I'm the one creating reality. No. Me as I am awareness, I am creating all of reality, experiencing all of reality being created. Like, my I am awareness is experiencing my cheeks and my glasses and my whatever. But as a consciousness, I am here to experience the feelings. I am here to experience the feelings of reality, not just like stuff and seeing it. I am the part of I am that is here to experience the feelings of I am, of Source. Source can't experience feelings without you. How? There's no feelings. It's just love. Source can't feel the variations in how love feels in all the filters you can create it for without you. It needs you. You are the number one thing for feeling. You are a ball of feelings, of filtering out feeling of love. So feel it. That's what you're here for. That's the part that you are consciously creating. Everything else is subconsciously being created. And the more you put your focus on a thing, the more it comes in. So enjoy this. Like, you see those synchronicities. See that those wonderful things that just work out for no reason whatsoever. See your own thoughts being reflected in your reality. See the words pop up. I was thinking about the word CEO, and then I was watching something on Twitch. A couple of minutes after, and the word CEO was in capital letters in the chat. Someone mentioned it. It's the first time I saw it. Right? That's reality. That's reality creation. That's synchronicity. Anyway, I hope that answered your question in some manner. Remember, from a 3D point of view, to really know how this stuff is created, I think it's basically like insanely quantum physically, mentally jumping, because you do create reality, and you can see that what you put your focus on comes into your awareness, but it comes into your awareness because of your I am. Your I am is selecting the frames for it to come into your awareness to know yourself as I am. That's what's happening. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you for the subscribing. Thank you for, this is a long video. Thank you, thank you for the subscribing. Thank you for the following. Thank you for the liking. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the question. Thank you. I love you all. Hope you have a wonderful day. And being as this is the early part of my journey, thank you for taking these steps with me. I appreciate it. And I love you all. Bye.